Good morning, people. Yeah, dogs in shelters is a big thing. We all know it's something that a lot of people care about. Seeing those animals in those tiny cages, and sometimes if they don't get adopted, they might end up being called. It's sad. It's really sad situation, but we have to come to the roots of the cause because most of the time the breeder is being called out as being the main problem of the overpopulation of dogs in shelters, especially pit bull types dogs. And when you look at it, those dogs are not even pit bulls. They are just dogs that look like pit bulls, and they are maybe pit bull mix, maybe they are pit bulls, but not 99% of them are pit bulls. But the propaganda just say pit bulls are overwhelmingly overpopulating shelters, and they will blame the breeders. They say, oh, the breeders keep producing these pit bulls, this dog, but the breeder is not the only cause of the problem. Maybe some breeders might play a role into the problem, but not all, because most reputable breeders, they have a dog contract or a puppy contract. Most of the time in that contract, it stipulates the breeder have the first right of repayment on that dog. So what does it mean? If you want to sell that dog, you call the breeder or you send him a text message saying, hey, I can't take care of this dog anymore and I want to sell it. Are you able to buy it back from me? If the breeder want to, you say yes, I will buy him back. If he doesn't want to, you say right now I can, or whatever he will tell you, you have the green light to sell it back. That's how it works. The other part is say no dumping in shelters. What does it mean? You don't have the right to take that dog in a shelter. Never ever. If you can't take care of that dog anymore, bring it back to me. That's what it says in many professional, reputable breeders will do. They will not allow a dog they produce end up in a shelter. They will rather have that dog back to them. If they can keep it, they will help you find a family for that dog. But that dog will not enter in the shelter. That's the truth about breeders' contract. About breeders not sending their dogs or allowing their dogs to go in shelters. But people are just being manipulated, fed information that it's breeders who are the problem. But the breeders, I would not say they are clean, but breeders are doing their parts. But one of the major problem is apartment units and HOAs. Those are the problems. You want to know why they are the problems? Not even apartments, but even some rental houses. They are the problems. Rental in generals are the problem. Because there's a lot of restrictions on animals. You will see some property that says no pets allowed. You will see a restriction on breeds. You will see restrictions on size. This already is a major problem because it's something that can happen to anyone. Let's take a clear example. You might live with your parents. For example, you just turned 18, you want to move out. And while you were living with your parents, you had a dog. What will you do? You want to take your dog with you. And you found this nice place. It's affordable. You are still a student and you have a part-time job. But you found this nice place. It's affordable for you. But the only kickback is no dogs allowed. What will you do? No dogs allowed there. The only thing you will do, you will leave the dog with your parents. And now your parents are getting old. They can't take care of that dog anymore. Because the dog has so much energy that they cannot handle the dog to take it for walks and everything. So your parents can't take care of the dogs anymore. And you can have your dog in your apartment. What's the only option? You will take your dogs to the shelter. Is it the breeder's fault? Is it your fault that you take that dog to the shelter? No. The breeder is innocent. You are innocent. Your apartment complex is pushing you to take that dog to the shelter. And to make it fair, some people too will just buy a dog from a backyard breeder who will not necessarily take that dog back, which is a shame because you are responsible for the dog you bring in this world. But at the same time too, we should not put the blame on them because you love your dog. You don't want to get rid of your dog, but you are being forced to get rid of that dog. Same thing, HOAs. What will the HOA do? We take the same conditions. You want to move out from an apartment or from your parents. Let's say from an apartment who allow you to have a dog. But you just move to this HOA, to this nice community, but it has an HOA. You reach over there, in the guidelines of the HOA, what does it say? We don't want this kind of dog in the neighborhood. We don't want dog of this size in the neighborhood. What will you do? It's the only house affordable that fit in your budget. What's the next thing to do? Excuse me. What's the next thing to do? Let me know in the comments. I won't say because we all know the answer to that. Are you the person to be blamed? Are you? Who is to blame? Because most of the time we just say it's an irresponsible breeder who did that. It's the overpopulation, it's the overproduction of dogs. No, the overproduction of dogs has nothing to do with that. There's not even enough dogs to satisfy all dogs lovers. And this situation happened to me. Myself, it happens to me. I was living in a rental unit. Everything was fine. They have accepted my dog. I was paying an extra fee. I was paying an extra $100 just for my dog to stay with me. I didn't mind that. I love my dog. Yeah, she was nice to us. But The previous companies, they sold the unit to a different company, and the different company came with new guidelines. They didn't wanted this kind of dogs in the unit. What did we have to do? And that dog was offered to me. It was an American Bulldog. They gave me 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get rid of the dog or to move out. Do you think 2 weeks is enough to find a new place? And I just had a newborn. My son was 1 month old. And they gave me 2 weeks to get rid of this dog or to find a new place. It wasn't easy. By the way, her name was Easy. It was not really easy. I've called the lady who gave us Easy. She said she can take Easy back because she just had another litter, and it was too much for her to have an extra dog. I kept looking for people. Because personally, I will never take one of my dogs to the shelter. Never ever. Never. I've contacted friends. I asked friends if they know people who might be interested in owning a dog. When talking to them, it was hard. So there's a friend of my woman who say, okay, there's one of my coworker who is looking for a dog. I will tell her. She came, she saw Easy, but she said Easy had too much energy for her. So she said she cannot take Easy. And 1 week has passed. I was left with 1 week. Few days later, a friend called me. He said there's one of his coworker who has 2 boys, and they just lost one of a dog. So they wanted another dog, because we all know that when you are used to live with dogs, it's hard for you not to live with dogs. So you know the pain of losing a dog or not living with a dog. You know the emptiness. So she came home with her 2 boys. I saw how the kids were interacting with Easy. I saw the dynamic of the family. It melted my heart. I was sad but happy at the same time. Easy had 2 young boys, 11 and 13. Perfect age for a young dog. At the time, Easy was 14 months old. Perfect age for the young dog. Young kids, young dog, full of energy. They will. I was happy for Easy that she was able to go to a good family. They play good. I kept receiving pictures. When I gave the leash of Easy to the lady, she couldn't believe. She said, how much do I owe you? I said, no, it's free. I will not sell you this dog. I am giving you Easy. And today, Easy have a good life. I see pictures on Facebook. Easy is she's at the beach, she's at the river, they go on vacation together. She loves those young boys. So just to say, people, sometimes when you see a dog in a shelter, stop accusing the breeder. Stop accusing the person who put the dog in the shelter. Because most of the time, they are not the cause. They are not the reason why the dog is ending up in the shelter. Because I myself, some people contacted me if I wanted to take your dog, because they are either getting too old or they cannot take your dog to the new place because they are not allowed. And I'm sure you yourself, you see on Facebook people who are trying to rehome your dogs, and sometimes for free too. So please people, let's stop accusing breeders and look where the real problem is. The real problem is not the breeder sometimes, and sometimes too it's not the person taking the dog to the shelter, but it's apartment units, rental homes, and HOAs who are behind the population of dogs in shelters. Anyway people, hope you had a good time. If you made it this far, please just drop a like, comment, subscribe, share if you know someone who might be interested into the content, and catch your next one. And don't forget, you are special because you're an amazing person, and most importantly, you are a dog lover. Catch you next one.